Good afternoon, everyone present here. My name is Joel, and I am a teacher who teaches maths for a decade now. And it might seem a little as compared to all the experienced researchers and educators over here. My talk will focus on integrating computational thinking in the school curriculum. I have this occasional hobby actually of baking, and especially during the Christmas time. And I follow my grandmother's old recipe where she wrote down all the steps where you need to get all your ingredients, mix all the wet ingredients together, mix the dry ingredients separately, set up the baking process, and then you get a lovely, delicious cake. And even thinking about it right now, my mouth is watering. And I realized that is computational thinking, a logical, step-by-step process. There was this time where I was too excited and I brought all the ingredients together and I completely forgot to get a slab of butter. And halfway in the process, I realized, oh my God, I don't have butter now. So I tried to innovate, and as an alternative, I used vegetable oil. And the cake turned out just like the way it used to be. So I realized that in baking, there is innovation, and so does innovation in computational thinking, where you need to find out a solution by innovation. As we move into this AI world, computational thinking skills are not just for the ones who want to go ahead in the career in technology, but it is a skill that everyone requires. We, on the other hand, have grown up with the mindset that we have languages, we have maths and science, and social science to study. I remember this talk with one of my students, actually an ex-student, and I asked him, okay, what are your plans now? And he told me that, sir, I like science subjects, but I hate maths. And that got me thinking, have we as educators, are we compartmentalization of all the subjects? Instead, we need to focus on problem solving, creativity, and logical thinking. And computational thinking is the great way to go. But to implement them, there are several challenges, and I will propose a few strategies that we could implement to overcome this hurdle. I know we all like clicking. The moment we see something beautiful, we want to remove our phone and start clicking. But imagine now, I give you a DSLR camera and tell you start clicking with this. I'm sure most of y'all will struggle, and that's because of the gap in knowledge. And same thing goes with computational thinking. I personally don't have formal lessons or formal classes in computational thinking. So I don't know the concepts, the methodologies. So there is a gap. And this gap creates a barrier for even the most enthusiastic teacher to impart the skills of computational thinking in the students. The second one is the test emphasis. Established institutions always look out for the old age-old methods. And I'm sure you also must have experienced this or said this to someone. You know what? You're going to answer your board exam this time. You better study well and get good percentage. This separation of subjects and the pressure to do well creates another stress in implementing computational thinking. Most of the schools might, opt for standardized tests which directly impact the test scores and leaving a very little room for interdisciplinary approaches like computational thinking. When I baked my first cake, I didn't have all the resources, especially the beater. And the ones who know baking will realize that you need resources to make it happen. You need the beater so that you mix the wet and the dry ingredients properly to get a uniform cake. Similarly, some schools might not have all the resources. They might not have the connectivity, no hardware, no software, and that creates again another hurdle. Despite all these struggles, we can employ a few strategies to overcome them. And the first one is professional development. School governing bodies can invest time in continuous training, courses, workshops, so that enthusiastic teachers can learn the strategies or concepts of computational thinking so that they can be transcended to our students. We all heard about this phone OnePlus, a brand. You know, when the first phone was yet to be launched, when you're planning for it 12, 13 years back, they started with community polls where they asked people, what do you want in the phone? And worked around that. So when their first phone was in the market, it had features which people wanted. And similarly, our BA training programs should incorporate computational thinking as a core component, where, just the way OnePlus heard the demands of the people, by implementing this, we can make sure we have trained teachers which our students need. The third one is peer learning communities, where teachers can come together, collaborate, share their best practices, ideas that work, that don't work in schools, so that we can have a teamwork in computational thinking. Navigating through resistance of traditional education system, we can create a lot of awareness where policymakers, educators, teachers, students, parents are all made aware what impact does it create when they are learning about computational thinking. The next one is curriculum alignment. Connecting computational thinking in parallel with a normal lessons can create that acceptance to a new subject altogether. Policy support. We need to invest in educational technology. And the last one is a creative solution. Just the way I told you, I didn't have a beater, I had a hand whisk. So what I did was, I attached my whisk to a drilling machine that I had and used that as a beater. So similarly, in computational thinking, we can work around with a lot of unplugged activities at the start so that children just get the gist of what it is to learn about computational thinking. We can together make it into a success. Thank you.